Is it just me, Shawk said, or is our western border a lot further than it used to be? Not a few months ago, Shawk would have only considered the area around the hill where the Kuroko's cliffs were as her home. If she was asked about her ancestral lands, they would also include the area along the northern shores of the lake formed by the old dam. Now, however, their ship has brought them far upriver of the lake, nearly to the shadows of the clan hold 3 kilometers west of hers. The people descended from our clan have spread out quite a bit over the generations, Elder Potley said. Beyond the lake, the borders are poorly defined since the population increasingly becomes a mix of different races the further one goes. And we still claimed it as our territory? How do the other races feel about that? We didn't officially claim anything, Potley replied, but when the recent troubles began, people started aligning themselves with us, hoping for protection and sustenance. It shouldn't be a surprise, Kaimali said. The city folk have always been quick to seize on opportunities. All we must do is ensure that Osalo Pakan offers more attractive opportunities than anyone else. His statement was as concerning as it was comforting. Shawk felt good about how far her clan had come in such a short time, but it didn't have much to offer relative to the hundreds of thousands of beastmen in and around the city. If their markets ever ran low on provisions to sell, the citizens wouldn't think twice about turning elsewhere for their needs. They were quick to seize on opportunities, which also meant that they were quick to abandon former opportunities if they could no longer profit from them. Winter Moon. Yes? You mentioned new packs forming in the city and taking over some places, Shawk asked. How large were they? It's hard to say, Winter Moon answered. There wasn't any way to differentiate who was a part of the local hierarchy and who just happened to be living in the area. I bet at least a few of them are slumlords, Kaimali said. Slumlords? Winter Moon looked down at him. I've never heard of those before. Is it a type of beastman lord? You could say that, Shawk said. They are gang leaders who lorded over little slices of the slums. And now they've occupied the dwellings of the wealthy, Winter Moon said. They've made their way up in the world. I doubt they've become anything like the wealthy, Shawk said. More importantly, this might be bad. I say it's a good thing, Kaimali said. Better to deal with the workings of the city that we grew up in. If the gangs have taken over, then there is at least a structure that we know well. She still didn't like it. The slumlords were something like a pale imitation of the warrior clans. They carved territories out of the poorest parts of the city and primarily used force to demand payment for security. The issue was that said security wasn't necessary if the gangs hadn't existed in the first place, so they were basically parasites that created problems to profit off of. When they finally made landfall, they found a group of locals awaiting them. Shawk waded ashore, shaking the water from her legs as she wondered what they were doing there. You are Inksock? An Osalo in the group asked. Yes, that's right, Shawk replied. A ripple of bobbing heads came in response. A lap runner came to us last night, the Osalo said. He said that you required the land that our homes are on and that you would give us new, better homes in your clan hold in exchange. Shawk examined the surroundings. From what she could see, the dwellings in the area were characteristic of most of the city. The majority were lean-tos fashioned out of branches and careworn nug hides. 3-sided tents were a step up from those, and the most desirable spots were nestled between tree roots large enough to form walls and sometimes even roofs. Places have already been prepared for you, Shawk said. Additionally, you'll have access to our inner markets and enjoy the protection of our warriors. There's also plenty of work to be had, is that all right? The group immediately knelt before her. It is. Please give us time to gather our families and belongings. It won't take long. Sure? We have to unload the ship anyway. Shawk remained silent as the group dispersed. Kaimali signaled to the ship's occupants to bring its cargo ashore. Was her offer really so attractive that everyone immediately agreed to it? Not that she didn't think life in the clan hold had gotten much better in recent times, but almost everything that she had mentioned was something that came with living there recently. Maybe things in the rest of the city were deteriorating faster than expected. Kaimali, can you figure out what's going on in the area? I don't want any nastiness to surprise us, of course, Inksock. I'll see if I can sniff out some old acquaintances. Inksock. Shawk turned to find the construction crew's foreman standing behind her. She gestured for Kaimali to begin his investigation before looking at the Osalo foreman expectantly. How should we set up the market? He asked. Didn't Master Leeds tell you what needed to be done? He listed some requirements, the foreman replied. We need space to assemble the pier, a good location for the market, and a structurally stable route between the pier and the market. He also said to ask you about defenses and the like. Defenses? She examined the ancient trees standing all around them. Like most of the city, the canopy was a good 50 meters above. The shattered undergrowth had been long trampled flat by the residents, affording a good view of the surroundings so long as one of the massive trunks nearby wasn't standing in the way. Osalo-style construction would be best, I think, Shawk said. We need to make efficient use of the space that we have. Also, we have a good riverfront for growing jute, so make sure nothing's built there if you can help it. How many levels should we build overhead? Just one, for now. As for security, we can have reinforced walkways above the market area that can double as sentry posts. What about the boundaries of the market? Can we build a wall like Master Leeds suggested? Shawk asked. We have more stone than we know what to do with back at the clanhold, the foreman answered. It'll be easy to ship upriver. Great, Shawk said. We'll run a walkway above the perimeter of the post and build the wall a few meters inside of it. So long as the sentries aren't asleep at their posts, that should make it next to impossible for anyone to climb over without being noticed. Understood, Inksock, the foreman bowed slightly. Building what you ask for may take a while, but the finished product will surely be something to see. Maybe I asked for too much. She thought she asked for something simple, but it sounded like the foreman had something grand in mind. They went to a clearing on the way to the riverbank, where a makeshift workshop was already being set up. The foreman gathered the workers to issue instructions, which primarily revolved around building a new pier and moving the ship's cargo to a temporary stockpile. Most of its construction materials were included in the first shipment, so all they had to do was put the thing together. Inksock. Yes? This time, it was an apprentice merchant that had approached her. She had a feeling that people would come to talk to her whenever she didn't appear to be preoccupied. Have you seen Kaimali? It looks like he's disappeared somewhere. Oh, I sent him to contact a few acquaintances in the area. Is there something I can help you with? He was supposed to be organizing us, but how should we arrange the market? Just use the main path for now, Shawk said. There's going to be a lot of construction, so you're going to have to move your stands around as it happens. I hear you, Inksock. Shawk escaped to the riverbank before anyone else could pounce on her. There, many of the locals turned migrants gaped at the wealth of construction materials, provisions, and furniture parts being offloaded as they waited to travel to the clanhold. Inksock. Arg. This time, it was the mate of one of the workers. Her mottled cub stood timidly behind her, clutching at his mother's spotted tail with a paw. Yes, what is it? Where should we pitch our tents? We don't want to get in the way of anything. Let's see, set them up at the top of the riverbank for now. We're going to build a residential level in the trees above the market, so you shouldn't be there for long. Thank goodness. I already miss our old place. Was the city always this muddy and miserable? At least it isn't flooding here, Shawk said. Let the others know about our construction plans, as well. Yes, Inksock. The cub looked up at Shawk with his big blue eyes as his mother led him away. Hee, so cute. Inksock. What? Shawk roared. Kaimali stepped back as she rounded on him, as did the Irma at his side. She looks taller than when I last saw her, the Irma said. Grost? The one and only, the Irma's mangy mane shook as he chuckled. You are much feistier outside of the fighting pits. Sorry, Shawk said. I'm endlessly answering questions these days. I see the rumors about you becoming a lord weren't mistaken. What are they saying about me? Just that, really. Oh, and there's a strange one about you training monkeys to do work. A waste of good food, I think. Grost says that you aren't the only one raising a clan, Kaimali said. Zijali has taken over the clan hold on the hill near here. Zijali, huh? Did he move his whole gang up there? Kaimali exchanged a look with Grost. The Irma shook his mane. What's wrong? Shawk asked. Oh, you know how it is, Kaimali's eyes narrowed in amusement. How do you not have money on you? Shawk said. I'm pretty sure I gave you some on the way here. Coins no good, Gross told her. The price of food goes up every day. Shawk looked around for a merchant, then she remembered that Kaimali was supposed to be one. Food it is, then, Shawk said. I hope the information's worth it. Kaimali fetched a bag of preserved meat from the ship. Gross received a meter-long slab of smoked nug and sniffed at it experimentally. He let out a satisfied snort, then held up 2 claws. Zyjalis moved his whole gang and more, the Irma said after he received 2 more slab. He went with all the toughs he could pick up coming out of the slums. How do they feed themselves? It's the usual arrangement. Then doesn't that mean he's still just running a gang and not a clan? Gross shrugged. It's all the same to us. Tribute for protection, yeah? Shawk bristled at the flippant comparison. It's not the same, she told him. I'm leading a real clan, not a swarm of parasites. Kaimali held up his paws in a calming gesture. Everyone will see this in time, he said. How aggressive has Zyjalis' gang been? Has he attacked the ranchers in the city? All of the ranchers in the city around his new clan hold have come under his rule, Gross replied. They say he went around with his best people and most of the ranchers submitted willingly. What sort of arrangement does he have with them? Shawk asked. Is it like what he forced on people in the slums? The answer is complicated. Another slab of smoked meat went under the Irma's arm. They are doing things in a roundabout way, Gross said. In the slums, people scratched up what they could by working, scavenging, or raising small animals. The ranchers, they're different. Their work is, dependent on the herds. Zyjalis' thugs can't come around once a week to demand some arbitrary payment. If they do, it threatens the food supply. For now, they're having the ranchers sell to them exclusively. They use the money extorted from the citizens under them to pay for meat to feed their muscle, then sell the rest. It's just like a warrior clan, no? The warrior clans defend people from real threats. Ah, but the hungry and desperate are a real threat. Especially in times like these. To that point, Gross held out his paw again. Kaimali scoffed. You'll find this useful, I swear. The Irma said. Shawk nodded. Another slab of meat went to Gross. Zyjalis' gang is being, how should I say, proactive about the threats that face them. They are driving anyone that they deem useless out of their new territory. Some say that they have even started expanding, displacing the citizens to create more grazing areas for their ranches. That's terrible. Shawk cried. The flooding is already driving so many out of their homes, now this. They have the strength to do so, Gross shrugged, and no one can stop them. For now. You and they are not the only new clans on the rise. Word has it that this is happening in the abandoned clan holds across the city. Her shoulders slumped. Gross's words were in line with what Wintermoon had observed on her way back through the city from the south. Would Khorstorofi Keral become a city ruled by gangs? How far has Zyjali expanded? Kaimali held out another strip of meat. Up to the river. This one? This one. I don't know whether they plan on coming across, but this side of the river is filled with people who are driven out of their homes by Zyjali's gang. You have either good or bad timing and, personally, I'm leaning toward bad. Shawk considered her strategic situation. Did they have a fight on their hands? The gangs were highly intolerant to perceived challenges to their influence. On the other hand, the river was a convenient border, allowing them to more easily keep all of the useless people they had driven out on the other side. What are we going to do, Inksock? Kaimali said, will you summon the warbands to put down Zyjali? Her gaze flickered to Hroth, who was watching them intently. Kaimali doesn't trust him. No, it's not a matter of trust. The Irma wasn't a member of Osalopakan, so she would be hard-pressed to claim that anything he did counted as a betrayal. Kaimali had found Hroth fairly quickly, so it was likely that the Irma had marked their arrival and was snooping around for information to send any interested parties, including Zyjali. There's no need for that so long as they don't make any threatening moves, Shawk said. As much as I hate to admit it, Zyjali has stabilized his side of the river and that's what we wanted in the first place. We need to focus on what we have going on our side. It sounds like chaos is about to break out at any point. But what can we do about that? Once we finish getting the northern tribes under us, Shawk replied, we should be able to manage with their herds. At some point in their conversation, the foreman reappeared. When Shawk went to speak to him, Groth slunk away. That meat he made off with wasn't even worth a single copper coin. Oh well, his loss. Shulk expected to part with pawfuls of copper coins to gain information. It was amusing to see Groth's greed turn against him, but the exchange also pointed to a widening gap between the economy of her clan and the rest of the city. Who was that? The foreman asked. An old acquaintance, Shulk answered. It sounds like we have a lot of work ahead of us. The population on this side of the river is much higher than it's supposed to be. We need to get our trading outposts up as quickly as possible, both the markets and the fortifications. The foreman scratched his ear and let out a sigh. I thought we'd be able to put what we've learned so far to the test by making something nice, he said. Guess not. Why are there more people here than expected? The land on the other side of the river's been taken over by a gang, Shulk replied. They've pushed everyone that they don't want to this side. What the? How are they getting away with that? Because even if they're just a gang, Shulk said, they are organized. Everyone else is hungry, confused, and frightened about the future. Are we going to let them get away with that? Of course not, Shulk growled. But our priority is saving lives, and most of the ones we can reach right now are on our side of the river. If we can stabilize things here, we'll have all the people we need and the gangs will have no chance against us when we come after them. Zyjali might have stabilized his territory by driving the people out, but they now faced the same problem as Osalopakan, a hungry city on their borders. They were probably hoping that anarchy and starvation would resolve the issue for them, but Shulk was determined to prevent that from happening. That's a lot of mouths to feed, Kaimali noted. I know, Shulk said, but we have to try. And it may not be as bad as it seems. Once we get the tribes bordering the city working with us, we'll be able to scrape by if we carefully ration provisions. The gangs will try to get in our way if they see us succeeding. If they see us succeeding, Shulk replied, it will already be too late for them to do anything about us. They returned to the river bank to discuss their findings with Elder Potley, but they found him already engaged in a discussion in the central ring of their temporary camp. Potley rose to his feet when he noticed her approaching, bobbing his head respectfully as he greeted her. Inksock, he said, we've gathered what mystics we could find in the area. Everyone, this is Inksock Osalopakan. There were far too many mystics to introduce personally, so they settled with a collective greeting. It looks like the rumors are true, Shulk said. Did these mystics come with their communities? They did, Potley said sadly. I could scarcely believe their accounts. Many were offered positions in service to this Zyjali fellow, but they of course declined in favor of taking care of their people. You all did the right thing. Shulk lowered her head in deference to their wisdom. Thank you. What did I walk in on? We've covered several topics, Potley replied. Of course, our plans to address the needs of their communities were discussed first. They believe that everyone will cooperate if we show that we can deliver provisions. How many people are there north of the river now? Shulk asked. Estimates range from 40 to 60,000, Potley answered. How are they getting their food? A queasy feeling formed in the pit of her stomach at the silence that followed her question. Kostorfi Keral received its food from 4 different sources. The herds in the city and fish in the lakes and rivers were the most immediate, followed by food shipments coming into the city from the surrounding tribes. It was the river trade, however, that made up most of the city's supply. Some of us are asking the nearby tribes for help, one of the mystics spoke up. Families have started to vanish into the jungle and I can't blame them. We are skirting the main issue here, Potley said. Zyjali's gang has taken control of the food supply and they're trying to sell it to the people for unreasonable prices. Selling food? Shulk wrinkled her nose. They are not keeping it for themselves? I thought that was the whole point in them driving everyone out. Regular shipments are still coming in via the river trade. I'm not sure whether they did this on purpose or not, but a gang and their associates can't eat a city's worth of food. They're selling the excess for as much as they can get. Ugh! How scummy can they be? Are they trying to make everyone hate them? With that selfish move, Zyjali had his proverbial fangs clamped on the backs of their necks. As promising as the new blood antler farms were, it would take time to transition from their reliance on distant imports. She and everyone else involved assumed that the floods would gradually reduce the volume of goods that were shipped to the city, but now it looked like they could be cut off all at once if they crossed Zyjali. I don't think they care about who hates them so long as they are in control, the mystic said. Does that mean we won't be able to rely on Osalopakan? We want to help, Shawk said, but securing a food supply for so many people takes time. I hate seeing Zijali and his ilk extorting the people, but I don't want to see anyone starve, either. Hold on, Kaimali said. I have an idea. What is it? Shawk asked. Kaimali grabbed her by the elbow and dragged her away. He only stopped after they left the camp a few dozen meters behind them. Don't tell me you're not going to trust those mystics, either, Shawk said. It's not that I don't, Kaimali said, but you know how it is. People talk and it looks like Potley's trying to get those mystics to organize the people. It's a good idea, but you never know who will say and hear what, and we definitely don't want the gangs to find out about this before we can act. We need to go back to the clan hold. I have to ask Master Leeds about this. Their ship was already half-boarded with migrants, so it wouldn't be long until they could leave. The vessel rocked strangely for no apparent reason after Shawk and Kaimali took their seats. She twisted around to look at the empty bench behind her. Wintermoon, is that you? Yes. The huge figure of Wintermoon materialized out of thin air the moment she spoke. Panic erupted at her sudden appearance and a dozen passengers jumped overboard. Do you have to do that? Shawk asked. People act out of the ordinary when they know I'm nearby, Wintermoon answered. In my experience, going around unnoticed is the best way to observe a place and its people. Yeah, but if you do it in a place filled with feared beastmen, you get what just happened. Well, it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't replied. Maybe I won't anymore. I'm going to turn into a nervous wreck wondering whether she's around or not. Where's Vildava? Kaimali asked. I left him back there with the other druids, Wintermoon answered. They had things to talk about. Is that safe? There are a lot of hungry people out there. I'm reasonably certain that he'll be fine. The ship recovered its passengers and drifted from the shore to paddle its way downriver. Shawk kept her eyes on the river's southern banks, wondering if they were being watched by Zijali's goons. What do you think of everything you heard back there? She asked Wintermoon. Nothing consequential, Wintermoon replied. Perhaps it will make for a good story. Is that all you bards think about? I'd be a bit more concerned since you're currently standing in the middle of this story. It wouldn't be much of a story if I got involved in your struggles. You'd get relegated to being a side character. With the way things were going, she wouldn't mind that. Whenever it was all over, she promised herself that she would sleep for a month. When they arrived back at the clan hold, Master Leeds was conveniently at the landing, planning out the new dockyard with a group of human artisans and their apprentices. They bowed in greeting as Shawk waded ashore. Welcome back, Inksock, the guildmaster said. How are things out there? This is going to be harder than we thought, Shawk replied. A slumlord and his gang moved into the clan hold southwest of the trading post. They chased most of the citizens across the river and now we have 60,000 mouths to feed. And I may have a solution for that, Kaimali chimed in. Master Leeds, when is the next ship coming in? The last pair came in a couple of hours ago, the guildmaster replied. They should be finished unloading soon. Great. I'd like to borrow one of the ships and her crew. The crews are resting. They haven't been home for a week. It won't be far, Kaimali said. Just to the northern part of the lake. The guildmaster furrowed his brow. Do you know what this is all about, Shawk? No, Shawk said. But Kaimali said it might solve the food situation upriver. I am certain that it will, Kaimali said. All we need is a ship, its crew, and some rope. Oh, and it wouldn't hurt to bring along some strong fellows, as well. Hello. Kaimali's voice drifted over the ripping currents of the Roland Gork as he waved to a ship laden with cargo entering the lake. At first, the other vessel seemed to pay no mind to his calls, but, as it drew closer, Shawk spotted the crew taking up positions along its length. At the bow of the ship, a well-dressed lup with wind-blown grey fur shaded his eyes, looking in their direction. Her friend continued waving, making random motions as they closed distance with them. Does that mean anything? Wintermoon asked. I don't know. Kaimali replied, I'm just trying to get them to come alongside us. Why don't you call them over, Inksock? Wintermoon asked. Me? The huge, spotted beast man regarded her curiously. You are a lord, are you not? Lords should have a few communication skills. I don't know anything about that. The other ship paddled by, keeping a good distance between them. Kaimali cursed and plopped himself onto his bench. Why would they ignore us like that? Shulk asked. Things must be getting worse across the jungle, Kaimali said. The merchant ships may have been attacked by people raiding their boats. Raiding their boats? Shulk tilted her head. From boats? Boat raiders? Pirates, Wintermoon said. What? What? Shulk and Kaimali stared at Wintermoon. Were boat raiders actually a thing elsewhere? Here comes the next one, Wintermoon told them. Several minutes went by before Shulk spotted the incoming barge. Kaimali rose and waved his paws overhead. Hello. We're not suspicious or anything. How suspicious, Wintermoon said. We're not dangerous, we just want to talk. The barge sped past without a word in response. Their ship rocked as its bow wave rolled under them. Why aren't they stopping? Kaimali grumbled. Has anyone told you that you're a very suspicious-looking individual? Wintermoon said, rogue-like, even. Shut up. I was born like this. Is that so? Then how about we letting Sop try? Me? Yes, you. Hold on, I have just the thing. Wintermoon's paw went into one of the satchels on her belt. They were mysterious items that seemed to contain any number of things. Several seconds later, she produced an amber comb with a set of jeweled flowers attached to it. It's beautiful, Shulk breathed. Where did you get that from? Some merchants returning from the Great Loot, Wintermoon replied. Hold still. Huh? Shulk flinched as Wintermoon reached over to attach the jewelry to her head. Was she allowed to wear something so nice? Hey, Kaimali said, that's not fair. Would you like to wear it instead? Wintermoon asked. Kaimali's mouth snapped shut. After adjusting the comb for several moments, Wintermoon stepped back to examine her. What do you think, Kaimali? She asked. It's fine, I guess, Kaimali mumbled and looked away. Why do you have to say it like that? Maybe I should groom you. Wintermoon scrutinized her. I am not a cub. Shulk backed away. Look, another ship is coming. What do I do? Go over to the bow and call for help. Help? Yes, like that, but louder. Shulk worked her way to the front of the shop on uncertain steps. When she got there, she looked over her shoulder at Wintermoon, but the entire crew only looked back at her expectantly. The sound of the approaching ship's paddle wheels grew louder. They are going to pass us, Wintermoon said. With a sigh, she looked back forward. The other vessel has nearly crossed the line of their bow, her crew looking curiously in Shulk's direction. Help. I don't think they can hear you. Help. The ship immediately turned, cutting a smooth curve over the water to glide up alongside them. A smartly dressed sailor went to stand across from her. How may we help you, miss? He asked. Unbelievable. We need food, she answered. We can pay for it. Are you the merchant? Cortal, at your service. How much would you like, miss? All of it. All of it? It's for my clan, Shulk said. The city's been a mess since the flooding and food shipments haven't been getting through properly. The merchant's gaze went to the southwestern horizon. That so? He said, I admit it was a pain the last time we came in with the harbor flooded and all, but I had no idea things had gotten that bad. It's not the merchant's fault, Shulk said. The flooding's driven people inland and the slumlords have carved out new territories. They've chased most of the people away to turn the land into pasture. Wait, Cortal said, then who have we been selling to? The gangs, Shulk said. Then they turn around and sell it to the desperate people driven to the fringes of the city for as much as they can get. Cortal stroked his jowls with a thoughtful expression. One of his crew came up behind him. What's the word, boss? Oh. How will you be paying, miss? Shulk looked over at Kaimali, who had made his way over while they spoke. He hefted a bag of copper coins in his paw. All coin, he said. Is that all right? Shulk asked. It's fine, Cortal replied. In fact, you've saved us a load of trouble. Getting this big old boat through the trees is a real pain. If you didn't know, Kaimali said, the city still has a functional port on the Northern River. The Northern River, you mean the one with the inn in the cliffs? The very same. Tens of thousands of people have been pushed into the northern fringes of the city, so there will be a steady demand for your goods. That so? I'll keep what you said in mind. Once they settled on a price, Kaimali instructed the crew to secure the two ships using the ropes they had brought along with them. In addition to 300 tons of smoked nug meat, there were also a dozen bundles of hides to move over. Another ship came from upriver, drifting into place alongside them as they transferred their purchase. Cortal? What's happening here? An R female called out to them. Just making a sale, Cortal replied. We're in the market for food if you have any, Kaimali added. We pay in coin. Sounds good, the Na replied, but it doesn't look like your holds will be able to store any more. You can follow us back, Kaimali said. We have a functional port and a great many mouths to feed. Could we come along? Cortal asked. Of course. Kaimali answered, in fact, it would please us if you let all of your merchant associates know, the ones you don't hate, at any rate. Knowing chuckles rose from the two merchants. Kaimali's tail waved contentedly as they made their way back to the Kuroko's cliffs. Winter Moon's bright turquoise eye seemed to measure his proud figure standing at the bow. He was so evasive back then, she said. I thought he was going to have us attack merchant vessels for their cargo. Huh? Shawk looked up at the towering beastman sitting beside her. Why would you think that? You didn't think he was acting awfully suspicious? It would be a lie if I said he wasn't, but what's wrong with that? I believe most of the people that I know wouldn't trust such a fellow with anything important, Winter Moon said. Many would shun him outright. That's weird, Shawk said. It is? It is to me, Shawk said. We grew up in a city that's so huge that pretty much everybody is a nobody. People fight to gain even the slightest advantage here, trying to pull themselves out of the drudgery of being poor. It's natural to keep any potential advantage to yourself for as long as you can. Otherwise, people might steal away that advantage or destroy it, or destroy you just to keep you from getting ahead. But you don't seem to be like that, Winter Moon noted. If anything, you're something like the opposite. I'm not, Shawk replied. I know exactly what it's like and I hate that my people have to be like that to survive. That's a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to create a place where people don't need to be like that. Interesting. I know a few people who would probably get along very well with you. Really? You mean outside of Rolengork? Indeed. You share many similarities with my Minam, one of my tributaries. She's not the only one, either. Shawk wondered if she could meet that person one day. It would be nice to have a friend who shared the same views. Maybe she would be able to learn things from her. Then again, they were probably far away and Shawk would never get the opportunity to leave Rolengork with how busy she was. A line of laborers awaited them at their berth under the Kuroko's cliffs. Kaimali leapt ashore before their ship reached the pier and ran up the ramps to the second terrace. Shawk had no issue keeping up, though the ease of doing so surprised her. Master leads. Kaimali called out, Master leads. It worked. Of course it worked, Master Leeds said from one of the balconies overlooking the river. It's all like I said, right? What did you say? Shawk asked. I'm pretty sure you were there for those lectures, as well, the guildmaster said. Actually, I've repeated it on several occasions. The merchants of Rolengork are fundamentally peddlers. They don't have trades arranged in advance, so they'll sell to whomever offers them an acceptable deal first. That includes anyone who intercepts them while they're still en route to market. With the city as it is, there's no profitable return trade that they know of, so they'll more than happily take coin. To top it off, spreading the word that the city still has a functional harbor will bring other merchants straight to us. If you knew all of this, Shawk said, how come you didn't send our merchants to do it before? The best ideas rarely work like that, Master Leeds replied. Often, you need just the right angle to see the path to profit. Kaimali's applied what he's learned well. Kaimali narrowed his eyes in pleasure at the praise. The guildmaster reached into a pocket and produced a set of small stone tablets strung together on a leather thong. Each tablet was roughly the length of her paw and carved in the outline of a river barge. Now, it's time for the killing blow, he said. Of course. Kaimali somehow grew even more elated. Now that we have someone delivering to our port, we can offer them delivery contracts, but will they understand how the system works? Any true merchant should once it's explained to them. It's your idea that brought them in, care to do the honors? Right away. The guildmaster dropped the ring of strong tablets into Kaimali's palm, along with another purse of coins. Kaimali rushed back down, finding the two merchants on a walkway extension a level above the river. Your functional port is a meter underwater, Cortal noted. Merely the pier, Kaimali said. The important part is that our storage is high and dry. Besides, if merchant traffic grows, we'll be sure to address the problem. I think everyone would rather the floods recede instead. No doubt, Kaimali agreed. Are things getting any better upriver? Worse, Cortal said. From what I've heard, every city up to Kira is half underwater, and the rivers past that point have become so violent that entire towns have been washed away. Also, many ships laden with warriors have been spotted heading east. The flooding has probably lent great advantages to the Yorgul lands. Has the demand for armor gone up? Kaimali asked. Not that I've seen, though logically it should have. Things are just broken these days. Broken? Yeah. The floods hold up the herds. That means the seasonal tribute's been disrupted. The warrior clans might need armor, but they might also not be able to pay for it. They should just say something if they need help. The two merchants snorted in unison. As if they ever would, Cortal said. They're too proud for that. We still don't know what all that movement to the west was about, and I doubt we ever will. Perhaps that will change with so much befalling our people, Kaimali said, then turned to Graal, the now merchant. Here is the agreed upon payment for your goods. Additionally, I have something else that may be of interest to the both of you. Cortal and Graal leaned in as Kaimali presented one of the stone tablets. It was carved out of basalt and polished to a dull gloss. At the end of the skinny tablet was carved the symbol of the Merchant Guild, inlaid in obsidian. Artwork? Graal said, a fine piece if so, but there isn't much of a market for luxuries these days. It is so much more than artwork, Kaimali's tail rose confidently. This is a contract for goods. An order that you may fulfill with a guaranteed buyer. How do they work? Kaimali held the tablets up to face the two merchants, pointing with a claw as he spoke. As you may have noticed, the carving of the stone is that of a ship. The ship here has been divided into 5 holds. I see, so each hold is marked with a specific good and we're to deliver it. Exactly. In total, each hold is the equivalent of 50 tons of smoked nug. The marking on the last hold is for hides. And these contracts are good for river? No, Kaimali said. Each of these contracts is unique and may only be used once. These symbols here say when they expire. We record every transaction and issue new contracts when necessary. He flipped the tablet over, revealing rows of circular pits. On this side is the promised payment. Each uncarved pit represents 10 copper coins. Right now, it indicates just a bit more than we paid you for today to account for the slow rise in food prices. In the future, we'll have someone you can personally negotiate contacts with. Don't let any mischievous fellows carve new holes into here or the contract value goes down. Kaimali united the leather thong holding the contracts together and freed 2 of them. One went into each merchant's paw. Make sure they aren't lost or destroyed, Kaimali said. Well, that's not a problem for the time being, but it will be when the demand for commodities isn't so overwhelming. What about the rest of the contracts? Cortal asked. What about them? I know a few guys who can take care of those, the Osalo merchant said. I'll bring them back with me on the next round. I know some people, as well, Graal said. In the end, Kaimali divided the contracts evenly between the two merchants. He returned to the second terrace with a triumphant expression. How'd it go? Master Leeds asked. They cleaned me out, Kaimali's tail hit Shawk in the leg. Nice, the guildmaster nodded. That was awfully nice of them, Shawk said. Kaimali and Master Leeds exchanged a look. They aren't doing it because they're nice, Master Leeds told her. They aren't? Then why? It's because they want to sell the contracts, of course, Kaimali said. Or exchange them for favors. Can they do that? Of course they can, the guildmaster said. The contract itself has value, it's the right to sell a specific set of goods to us. It's common for merchants to pay for security. In this case, it's knowing that they have a buyer when they arrive in port. Saves a lot of time and trouble, and time is money and all that. But it's their first time seeing them, Shawk said. How can they trust something that they're unfamiliar with? The guildmaster seemed amused by her disbelief. He leaned his elbows on the railing of the balcony, watching the dock workers unload Graal's cargo. Cortal's ship had already departed and was halfway to the lake. "You are only considering that notion in itself," Master Leeds said. "If you look at the bigger picture, it's not as much a risk as you think. Those merchants deliver food and hides to the city anyway, so the contracts are more like an extremely convenient bonus to them. Our true objective is to redirect trade to Osalopakan and build trust in our new contract system. By doing so, we can leverage the entire trade network instead of having to rely solely on our own ships and people." "I think the only thing I heard was my life is going to get a lot busier," Shulk said. "It's a good kind of busy, at least if you don't delay in delegating all that busy work you've been trying to handle on your own. Anyway, I assume we're transferring this new cargo to the trade post? The meat, at least." "Yeah," Shulk replied. "How long until the ship gets back?" "Shouldn't be long now. Speaking of which, the elders wanted to speak to you." "Which elders?" "The ones assigned to situating the people we displaced for the first trade post. I think they're still at the lake landing." Shulk hurried off to the lake. Kaimali's plan had taken up all of her time and all of the other things that were demanding her attention had slipped her mind. She found the elders, along with the migrants, still waiting for her not far from where they had disembarked. "Sorry for keeping you waiting," she said. "Has there been any trouble?" Metzli, an elder whose spots could barely be seen against her black fur, came up to speak with Shulk. "They've been behaving nicely," she said. "Many were famished, so we handed out some food. They've been content to rest and digest since then." "How come you didn't take them to their new homes?" Shulk asked. "The clan members populating the new trade post vacated their old homes, so it was simply a matter of moving the migrants into them." "I wasn't sure what you intended," Metzli answered. "I thought that maybe you were waiting for the remaining people to come in before moving everyone to their new homes." "Why would I do that?" "I'm sorry," Shulk said. "I should have given you instructions, but I rushed off instead. You can go ahead and bring them in." The elder bobbed her head in acknowledgement and turned to address the newcomers. Not long after, the ship appeared from upriver, laden with the second wave of migrants. "How are things going out there?" Shulk asked the captain. "We've got an audience across the river," the captain replied. "I think we're going to need more security." "How big is this audience?" "Hard to tell. At first, they kept going in and out of the trees to make their group look larger, but now there's clearly more of them." "Did they say anything?" "No, but I don't like the way they've been looking at us." A low growl issued from Shulk's throat. Kaimali's bluff wasn't as effective as she had hoped and they didn't have very many trained warriors available. Most of what they could afford to deploy was already divided between the trading post and the trade caravan going back and forth between the clanhold and Natamal. "I should get back out there," she said. "We should bring more people," Kaimali said. "Anyone is fine. Zijali's thugs will only attack if they think they can overwhelm us." "We are shipping meat upriver," Shulk said. "Maybe some of the locals will work as sentries for food." "In their condition?" Kaimali scoffed. "A bunch of skinny refugees aren't going to threaten anyone." "Fine," Shulk said. "We'll bring the warriors training in the clanhold." She supposed it counted as valuable experience. They could train anywhere so long as they had the space, as well. "Contact Master Leeds while you're up there," she told the runner. "We need another ship. Have the warriors carry the ship moored at the wharf up here." "I hear you, Inksock." The second ship arrived just as the first finished loading. Together, they made their way up the river while Shulk addressed her warriors. "A slumlord is trying to pressure our new trading post," she said. "We are going to need to station you there for now." "A gang is threatening us?" one of the warriors said. "Where did they draw their courage from?" "They've been running wild since the flooding started pushing people inland," Shulk replied. "The clan lords left their holdings and the gangs moved in. Now they're trying to carve out territories and extort the people like they usually do." "How many will we be fighting?" another warrior asked with an eager look. "We don't know how many there are, but they're slowly building up. Hopefully, they'll back down once they see us arrive." Kaimali made a derisive noise. "It would be better if we bleed them," he said. "They'll be slinking around, harassing our people until they learn to fear us." Many of the warriors voiced their agreement. She didn't recall them ever being so bloodthirsty. "The defense of the trading post is our primary goal," Shulk told them. If they do something like light our provisions or merchandise on fire, it's as good as a loss for us. The same goes for them injuring our merchants and artisans. If you catch anyone trying to do anything like that, I won't complain if you send them back across the river in pieces. That seemed to mollify her excited warband. When the trading post came into sight 30 minutes later, they found its surroundings well lit by torches. Unfortunately, it was still too dark to see the opposite side of the river. Shawk, Potley came down from the camp to meet her. Thank goodness you've come. I heard that Zyjali's gang was up to no good. They've been trying to intimidate us all evening, Potley sighed. Once the sun went down, they started barking and howling to unsettle us. Shawk swiveled her ears toward the river. I don't hear anything. That's our newest problem, Potley said. I think they've moved away to cross the river somewhere. We sent a few hunters to shadow their movements. It would be nice if they all just decided to go to bed. Her hopes were dashed shortly thereafter when the hunters dispatched by Potley returned with a breathless report. The gangs crossed the river, one of them said. There must be over 1,000 of them. 1,000? Shawk gaped. Get our merchants and artisans on a boat back to the clanhold. Our warriors will confront them on the riverbank. Do we have enough people? Kaimali asked worriedly. 300 untested warriors against 1,000 thugs. If they were afforded the time to train to her satisfaction, their victory was probably assured. Unfortunately, most were still barely novices who were learning the basics of combat. It could be that Zyjali's thugs were their betters. I don't know, Shawk said. Remind me to ask Roth what he told them the next time we get our claws on him. Well, Kaimali said, you did say that if Zyjali only reacts to our success, it will be too late. It could be that he realizes the same thing and they're trying to snuff us out before we can get too strong. Why does a slumlord have to be so insightful about the most inconvenient things? Shawk muttered. Everyone froze as the baying of Zyjali's thugs suddenly filled the darkness. Her warriors quickly finished forming their loose ranks while the hunters loaded their slings with smooth river stones. It wasn't long until the front fringe of Zyjali's gang appeared at the edges of their dark vision. They stopped and continued making threatening noises, baring their teeth in savage snarls. This seems like a lot more than 1,000, Kaimali said in a small voice. Shawk was forced to agree. At first, she thought it might be the darkness playing tricks with her mind, but the gang became more and more substantial, coming out of the jungle to pin them against the river. A familiar Gao with silver-tipped brown fur appeared from their center. Shawk, Zyjali said, long time no see. Your last match at the fighting pit won me a hefty sum. That's Inksock to you, Shawk spat. Zyjali barked out a laugh. If you are Inksock, then I am Elinkzajali. Everyone here can see who is superior. Normally, I'd have anyone who challenged me as you have skinned, but these are troubled times and you seem to have learned some useful tricks. Submit to me and I will kindly allow you to be my tributary. Yeah, no. Sorry. Come now. Zyjali held his arms out. I have 3,000 to your 300. Why waste the lives of you and your people on worthless pride? It isn't worthless pride, Shawk replied with a menacing growl. I'm just saying that dogs like you need to be put down. The slumlord and his thugs seemed taken aback by her statement for a moment. Then, Zyjali shrugged and waved his gang forward. Shawk eyed the throng as they crept forward far too cautiously for their overwhelming numbers. Can we survive this? Wintermoon should be around here somewhere. Will she fight? Suddenly, Kaimali jumped out in front of her. Stop! He shouted, don't make me use this. Use what? The advancing gang stopped, looking about as confused as Shawk felt. She glanced about to see what Kaimali was referring to, then realized that he was holding Voltava in his paws overhead. Kaimali, Shawk hissed, are you crazy? He's a guest of the clan. Put him down. Laughter rose from Zyjali and his thugs. And what, precisely, do you plan to use that thing for? Zyjali asked. I hope you don't think it's good enough to feed the lot of us. Why you don't understand? Kaimali shouted. You don't. Kaimali settled into an awkward silence. Zyjali and his goons looked at one another in bafflement. Do it, Voltava said. As if compelled by some dark force, Kaimali hurled Voltava at Zyjali with all of his might.